Well, it's not true that statements calling on Israel, one, to withdraw from Gaza, and two, to end all the harm that was being perpetrated against residents of Gaza. It's not true that these statements were not being made. They were. I issued my first statement on the 8th of October. So we were commenting regularly, and not just myself as a minister, but our president as well, our party headquarters. So we were very, very active as South Africa. We had the first protests in October in South Africa, in both Johannesburg and Cape Town, and this continued. So we've always had a very close association with the struggle of the people of Palestine, due to the fact that they were very much a strong part of our own struggle against apartheid, in that some of our freedom fighters were trained by Palestinians. So it's been a long-standing association. Now, as to the case was a decision of government. I was a servant of the government executing a decision of cabinet, and so I don't deserve all this applause because I really was acting on instruction. The initiative came from lawyers who were writing to us, strangely enough. And I was wondering, why are they writing to Foreign Affairs, and they were asking, why don't you invoke the Convention on Genocide? Why is South Africa not doing anything? And it was all directed at South Africa, South Africa, South Africa. Then one day in a cabinet meeting, I think the Justice Minister had been getting the same emails. And he sent me a note. Why don't you invoke the Convention on Genocide against Israel? And I sent him a note back, why don't you? He's the Minister of Justice, And so then he wrote back that actually the responsible ministry is yours. So I said, okay. So went back, met with our team, met with our legal advisors, and we agreed that we will put a proposal to Cabinet on this matter. If I get arrested, I hope you'll give me refuge in the UK, because I just left government, and I think there's a secrets thing, and you can't speak about certain things. So
you can stay with
if
me,
I
no
do
problem.
get arrested, do open your doors to me. So anyway, we told the president what we intended to do, and he was in full agreement, supported the framing of this very detailed cabinet memorandum. We took it to them, and they agreed. There was nobody in cabinet who opposed.
Wow.
I knew from the reaction to statements we'd been making that we were going to face a real uphill internally, because we have one of the strongest Zionist federations in South Africa. And of course, they'd been commenting on all our public statements. So what we agreed was that while we were preparing the documents for submission, we were not going to make any statement on our decision. So we had decided early December, but it took us a number of weeks, one, to put together the legal team, and two, to prepare a full set of documents, and also to agree on which clauses of the convention we wanted to utilize, particularly for the provisional measures. So we worked on that. I didn't have a holiday at all. And our president wanted to see everything we were drafting. He's a lawyer himself. And worked very closely with us, with our team. Eventually, we were satisfied with the drafts, and we prepared them for submission, sent them through, and made a public statement the next day. And those who were commenting, it was a fait accompli. In the cabinet, I suppose in all cabinets, we had a problem with something that they call leaking. Where if a colleague doesn't like a decision or the direction of a particular discussion, they then go to the newspapers and, say, oh, Naledi said this and that one said that. But I appealed to the cabinet that please, nobody say anything, because I knew we needed time, and I knew that cracks, would be enforced between us as we worked if anybody knew what we were doing. So there was no initial opposition because they didn't know what we were doing. And December becomes the kind of quiet time in South Africa. So it was a perfect period because we didn't have cabinet meetings, cabinet meeting of December. We had to work up to end of December to submit by 29th, I think. And we quietly worked away. And as I say, we sent in. Next day we made a statement. And by the time they realized and they were hitting us, it's gone.
What was the nature of them when you say hitting you after?
Oh, gosh.
What was the nature of it? What did it look like? How did it feel?
All sorts of things. They said I'm a representative of Hamas in South Africa, that I'm a tool of Iran. And, I had gone to Iran on another matter, but they said I went there to get instructions. So I was called all sorts of things. The worst things were written about me. Cartoons were drawn about how ugly I am and all of that stuff and evil, But the submission had gone. And we had the best legal team. So I wasn't bothered. Good.